All right, get started. Let's begin by rubbing the palms of our hands together, bringing focus and energy into the palms. We'll bring the fingertips, brushing them across the forehead, temples, and cheeks, brushing away any worries or expectations. And bring the fingertips to the eyes, palms to the cheeks, turning your attention inward. And take a couple of deep cleansing breaths. When you're ready, you can float your hands down. You're welcome to leave your eyes closed or gaze gently downward. Extend your spine up tall, shoulders back and down. Lift your heart with each inhaling breath. Sitting bones sinking toward the earth with each exhale. We'll tune in with 3 ohms. Feel free to join in or just absorb the vibrations. Take another full breath in. Take a moment to absorb the vibrations of the mantra as it connects us all as one. Allow yourself to settle here this Saturday morning. And set an intention for your practice, something you'd like to nurture or cultivate within yourself. Bringing your awareness to your breath. Allow each inhale to bring you here, to this room, to this moment. Allow each exhale to release anything not needed for your practice today. With your next inhaling breath, allow the belly to soften and expand. And as you exhale, draw the belly toward the back. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly and open the ribs, reaching them out to the sides. And as you exhale, contract the belly and relax the ribs. Follow your body's rhythm, expanding and opening, contracting and relaxing. With your next inhaling breath, expand the belly, open the ribs, and lift the chest, creating space for your heart. And as you exhale, contract, relax, and lower. Continue this full deep breath, expanding the lungs in all directions with each inhale. Completely releasing the breath with each exhale. As we continue this full deep breath, let's move into Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breath. Take the pointer and middle fingers of your right hand, placing them either between the eyebrows, or you can also tuck them into the palm of the hand. Ring finger and thumb on either side of the nose, and take a full breath in and out. With your next inhale, gently close the right nostril, inhaling through the left. Switch and exhale through the right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Continue this pattern, following your body's rhythm. Let's do one more full round. When you reach the end of the exhale on the left side, gently float your hand down and return to your natural breath. Noticing any changes you feel in your mind or body. Remembering that our breath is always with us to help find those moments of peace and calm. Now bring your awareness to your right hand, allowing the tip of the thumb and pointer finger to come together. And bring those fingertips to your heart center. Turning your attention deeper inward towards your heart, looking within for your inner light and your inner joy. As you find that connection with the light within you, allow its warm glow to flow on the breath throughout your entire body. As you find that connection with your inner joy, allow it to radiate up onto your face in a smile. And breathe it out into the space around you. As we continue our practice, allow your light and joy to flow through each breath and movement, honoring all that you are in each moment. When you're ready, you can float your hand down, gently open your eyes. If you would like to switch your legs or change positions, please go ahead and do that. And with our next inhaling breath, let's scrunch the shoulders up by our ears. And as we exhale, press the shoulders back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Inhale, lift and squeeze. Exhale, back and down. Bring the hands in front of the chest, palms facing down. We'll tuck the shoulder blades back and down, gently squeezing. Lift the heart. Lengthen through the neck. Then let's bring the elbows back toward each other, gently squeezing the center of the shoulder blades, wringing out any tension. Lift the chin gently, breathing into the heart, wringing out the muscles between the shoulder blades. And let's open wide, turning the palms up. Lift the heart a little more, drawing the shoulder blades down. Think about squeezing the lower corners of the shoulder blades toward each other. If it feels okay, you can flex the wrists, pressing through the palms. Let's bring the arms in front, crossing the right over the left, bending at the elbows, hands back to back, or left hand around the right wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears. Gently squeeze the arms together, pushing the elbows forward gently. Jaw and neck are relaxed. And breathe into the upper back. Gently releasing any tension. And gently unwrap the arms. Oh wait, go ahead and leave those back. Sorry, I forgot to have you do the up and down. Go ahead and lift them up and down if that feels okay. And with the next inhale, if it feels okay, lift a little higher and arch. And then with your exhale, folding forward just as far as feels okay for your low back. And then back to the center. And now unwrapping. Opening the arms wide, tucking the shoulder blades, squeezing the lower corners, pressing through the palms. And then we'll come forward, left over the right, bending at the elbows, hands back to back or right hand around the left wrist. Elbows up to shoulder height, dropping the shoulders away from the ears, relaxing the jaw and the neck, gently squeezing the arms together, pressing forward through the elbows, breathing into the upper back. And then gently lowering and lifting the elbows as that feels okay. Extending the stretch around the shoulders. And then if it feels okay, with your next inhale, lifting the elbows up higher, gently arching. And exhale, gently lowering, just as far as feels okay. And then inhale, coming back to the center, gently unwrapping the arms. Let's bring the arms out at shoulder height and let's make some circles with the wrists. You can have the palms open, the hands open, or hands, sorry, can't find my words, in fists, whatever way feels comfortable. And then you can also reverse those circles. Kind of stretch those fingers out wide and then squeeze them in tight. Stretch them wide and squeeze them in tight. And then we'll bring the hands to the heart. Interlace the fingers, press the palms out in front. Roll the shoulders forward, drop the chin around the spine. With your next inhale, lift the palms up over the head, gently arching. As you exhale, round, pressing the palms in front, dropping the chin. Inhale, lift and arch. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift. And this time as you exhale, leave the palms up and gently drop the chin toward the chest. Softening the elbows, roll the shoulder blades back toward each other, gently squeezing the upper corners of the shoulder blades. Relax the jaw and soften through the back of the neck a little more if that feels okay. Keep the elbows here, or if it feels all right, gently pressing through the palms, straightening the arms. With your next inhale, lift the chin. And as you exhale, twist toward the right and float the hands down. Left hand to the right knee, right hand behind the right hip. Lift the heart, deep breath in. And as you exhale, gently twist, bringing the head around left. Follow your breath, lifting through the heart, twisting through the ribs. Keeping the left hand on the knee with your next inhale, bring the right arm up by the ear, lengthening. And as you exhale, reach across the body. Right hip drops toward the mat. Lift the heart. Fingertips reach across the ceiling. Breathing into the right side of the body. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale back to the center. Take a breath in and out. And then we'll inhale or interlace the fingers and inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, twisting to the left and float the hands down. Right hand to the knee, left hand behind the left hip. Inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, gently twisting to the left. Head comes around last. Inhale, heart. Exhale, twist through the ribs. Hold and breathe. Finding that edge between flexibility and inflexibility. Keeping the right hand on the knee with your next inhale, lift the left arm up by the ear, reaching high. Exhale, reach across the body. Dropping the left hip to the mat, lift the heart, reaching through the fingertips. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. And exhale, come back to the center. And take a breath in and out. And then let's extend our legs out in front of us. Scooting our feet down toward the end of the mat. Lengthening the spine tall, shoulders back and down. You can have the hands on the legs or on the mat. We'll flex the feet, pointing the toes up toward the sky. Then engage the quadriceps, drawing the kneecaps up, gently lifting the heels off the floor if that feels okay. Noticing if your toes want to go out to the side or into the center, and try to have them point straight up so that you're engaging both the inner and outer quads. Reaching through the heels, lengthening through the spine. Notice if your shoulders are pulling forward and gently draw them back and down. Belly muscles are strong. And then with your next exhale, soften. We'll inhale the arms up over the head. And exhale, gently fold forward, listening to your body, paying attention to the legs and the back. Hands on the legs, floor, or feet. With your next inhale, lift the chin, lengthening the spine. And as you exhale, soften the ribs toward the thighs. Follow the breath, lengthening and softening. Keeping the head in alignment with the spine. Reaching the tailbone behind you. Softening through the back of the legs and the low back, wherever you feel that tightness or tension. Breathing into it and gently letting go around it. One more breath. And with your next inhale, lift up tall. We'll bring our hands a few inches away from our hips. Feet together for inclined plane, or bending the knees, feet hip width apart for reverse table, whichever version feels best for you today. Bending those elbows, rolling the shoulder blades back with your next inhaling breath. Lift the hips high. As you exhale, lower and hover if that feels okay, strengthening those arms. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower and hover. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Keeping the elbows slightly bent so those triceps are working in the upper arms. Head is extended out from the spine, or chin tucked toward the chest. Hips pressing high, one more breath. And then gently lowering down. And we'll shake those wrists out a little. And before we lay back, I'm going to have you try kind of a funky little pose called mongoose. And it's supposed to help with, it does help actually, I should say, with the neck and shoulder tension. It's a little weird and it's a little uncomfortable at first. So listen to your body and don't, go too far. But if you practice it, what I have found is as I practice it over time, that it becomes more comfortable and I have less of that tension. So we're going to kind of start in that same position that we do with inclined plane, having our feet extended out and our hands pointing toward the hips, elbows bent. So you're going to kind of drop the sternum and drop the chest. So your shoulders kind of press forward. Your chin is at the chest. And then make sure you're in a comfortable position. Well, this is where it's kind of uncomfortable, comfortable enough position. And if it hurts your wrist at all, you can also kind of push the fingertips into the floor to help relieve some of that strain. And then listening to your body, you gently lift the chin and let the head drop back. And then see if you can just breathe here, softening into the neck and shoulders, noticing where you can let go. And let's bring the chin back to the chest and press up and shake out those wrists. So it's a little weird the first time you do it, but try it maybe once or twice a day and see if you notice some of that decrease in the neck and shoulder strain. Especially since we're all so much at our computers even more these days, I notice a lot more of the pushing my chin forward when I'm working on the computer. So I've been really working with trying to have my shoulders stacked over my hips and my head stacked over my shoulders. And that's that mongoose pose seems to help with that. All right, let's go ahead and roll the rest of the way back. Shoulders tuck under, arms alongside the body. And just gently scanning up the body, noticing any parts that feel tired, achy, or sore. Honoring yourself and your body by listening to its messages. Pushing yourself to your edge, but not beyond it. And remembering that each time you do yoga, your body's a little bit different. Let's bend the right leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the right hip. Keeping the left hand on the knee, right arm falls out to the side, palm facing down. And with the exhale, gently twist over the left side of the body. Vision toward the right arm. just as much as feels okay. Right hip comes off of the mat, foot comes across toward the floor. Release the muscles around the hip. Allow the spine to ease into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center. Extending your leg up toward the sky, take hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, pressing through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankles. Stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel, draw the belly muscles down toward the back. Can stay here, or if it feels okay, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower, head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. This time, hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Neck is nice and long, belly strong, reaching through the heel. Stay here or flex the left foot and lift it gently off the floor. And you could stay here or release the hands. Gently lower the left leg. As you inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the right leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the left leg, floating the hands to the knee as you draw it in toward the chest. Shoulders tuck under, neck is nice and long. Soften around the hip. Keeping the right hand on the knee, left arm falls out to the side, palm facing down. Gently twist over the right side of the body. Left hip comes off of the mat, foot comes toward the floor, vision toward the left arm. Soften the muscles around the hip. Ease the spine into the twist. With your next inhaling breath, come back to the center, extending the leg up toward the sky, taking hold behind the hamstrings, calf, or ankle. As you exhale, toes reach toward the ceiling. Inhale, flexing, reaching through the heel. Follow your breath, releasing the front and the back of the leg. Now begin to make slow, gentle circles with your ankle, stretching your foot as far as it can go in each direction. And reverse the circles. Reaching through the heel, draw the belly muscles toward the back. And with your next exhaling breath, lift the head and chest toward the leg. Inhale, lower the head and chest. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. Lengthening through the spine. Neck is nice and long, belly strong, reaching through the heel. Stay here or flex the right foot, gently lifting it off the floor. And you can stay here or release the hands. And we'll gently lower the right leg. With your next inhale, lower the head and chest. And as you exhale, slowly lower the leg. Once you reach the floor, take a deep breath in and out. Let's bend the knees, placing the feet on the floor, about hip width apart. Shoulders tuck under, arms alongside the body. Palms facing down, we'll move into bridge pose. Lift the toes, spreading them wide, rooting down that end of your bridge. And then press the shoulders into the mat for your other end. With your next inhale, scoop the pelvis and begin rolling the spine up, one vertebrae at a time, pressing the hips high. Exhale, gently lowering down. Inhale, scoop and lift. Exhale, gently lower, keeping the knees parallel to each other. Inhale, scoop and lift. This time, hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. If you're holding, press into the feet, roll back onto the shoulders. Chin is gently lifted away from the chest. You can stay here, or if you'd like to roll the shoulders under and either interlace the fingers or hold onto a strap, working with the chest opener. You can walk those elbows in a little more to protect them. You can keep the elbows bent or extend the arms if it feels okay for your wrists and elbows, keeping those palms close. Pressing into the feet. You can even press into the elbows as you lift the hips high and open the heart. And when you're ready, you can unlace the fingers, roll the shoulders out, and gently roll the spine down. Taking a deep breath in. With your next exhale, gently tuck the pelvis, drawing the belly muscles down. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, release. And let the breath go. Cross our right ankle over the left thigh, allowing that right knee to fall out to the side. You can stay here, or if it feels okay, lifting the left foot off the floor, take hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Flexing the right foot as you draw the left knee toward the body, just as far as feels okay. Lengthen through the neck, shoulders are tucked under. Send the breath to the right hip. Releasing any worries or frustrations stuck in the hip. Allowing them to float away on the breath. And gently release. Let's take hold of that right foot. You can bring the palm to the arch of the foot and allow the knee to come out to the side, sole of the foot facing the ceiling, coming to half happy baby. Easing through the hip. Sometimes kind of a little rocking here can help soften any tightness or anywhere you're holding on. And if it feels okay, you could extend the leg out, softening through the hamstrings, softening through the hip. And then we'll lower the foot down, releasing it. And let's cross the left ankle over the right thigh. You can gently press the left knee out to the side if that feels okay. Or lift the right foot off the floor, taking hold behind the hamstrings or over the top of the shin. Flexing the left foot as you draw the right knee toward the body just as far as feels okay. Lengthen through the neck, shoulders tuck under. Breathing into the left hip. Gently letting go, releasing any anger or anxiety stuck in the hip. Allowing it to float away on the breath. Or release the right leg. Take the left hand and the arch of the left foot. Come into half happy baby, sole of the foot facing the ceiling, knee to the outside of the ribs as far as feels okay. And again, if it feels okay, kind of gently rocking to soften up the hip a little more. And if it feels okay, extending that leg, lengthening it out just as far as feels okay. You're always welcome to use a strap here as well if you want to work with that extension. And we'll bring the foot back to the mat, releasing it. Bring both knees over the torso into Apanasana. Breathing into the belly. And from here, you can either roll to your side, pressing up with your hands, or slip your hands behind your knees, kick your feet over your head, and gently rock up. And we'll come onto our hands and knees. Bringing the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Softening the elbows, head extends out from the spine, shoulders tucked back and down. With your next inhale, lift the tailbone, drop the spine, lift the chin. And as you exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, drop the chin. Inhale, lifting, spine follows. Exhale, rounding. Follow your breath. With your next inhale, come back to table pose. And as you exhale, bring the right shoulder and the right hip toward each other. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, left shoulder, left hip toward each other, and scrunching that side. Inhale, center. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Once more on each side. And back to the center. If it feels okay for you, we want to stretch the front of the forearm. You can turn the palm up so the fingertips are pointing toward your leg and the wrist is resting on the mat. And if, just as much as it feels okay, you can begin kind of to straighten the arm, stretching through that forearm. You can also kind of lean back a little, pressing into the palm, if that feels okay. Just listening to your body doing what feels comfortable for you today. And then we'll switch hands. So coming back to the palm of the left hand, bring the right palm turned up, wrist resting on the mat. And again, straightening the arm some to help with that lengthening, or leaning back, gently stretching. And then when you're ready, bringing the hands back to the palms. We'll walk the hands out a couple of inches, tuck the toes under, press the hips up and back into downward dog. Softening the knees, reaching back through the hips, head between the arms. Chin gently away from the chest. Think about rolling the shoulders back toward each other. Then as it feels okay, dropping the heels toward the mat and lengthening the legs. Nice strong downward dog, lengthening the entire back of the body. And we'll come back onto the hands and knees. Let's step forward with the right foot. We'll walk the foot out a few inches so that you can come into a lunge. You can keep the hands on the mat or blocks, or you can have the hands on the right knee. Think about pressing the right hip back, left hip forward. Softening through the front of the left hip as you gently drop it down, keeping those hips squared. Pressing into the front foot. You could stay here or bring the hands to the heart, elbows out to cactus pose, or arms up over the head. And from any of those positions, if it feels okay, you can gently add an arch. And we'll float the hands down, rocking that right hip back, lengthening through the spine, pressing back through the hip, feeling those hamstrings stretching. And as it feels okay, you can lift the toes, rolling onto the heel, stretching down through the calf. And we'll come back onto the sole of the foot. And let's bring both hands on the inside of the foot. You could keep the knee down, or if it feels okay, you could tuck the toes under and lift the back knee. And then we'll come into lizard pose. So you can bring the forearms down if that feels okay. Again, back knee is up or down. And you can stay here or roll onto the outer edge of the right foot, allowing the knee to come out to the side gently. Softening through that hip. Coming back onto the palms, dropping that knee down. We'll wrap that right leg back. Bring it back to the knees. That was a weird way to say that. And then let's come back into downward dog, pressing the hips up high. Soften through the knees, hips reach high. Lengthen through the heels. Then we'll bring the knees back down to the mat. Step forward with the left foot. Walking those toes out just as far as feels okay, so you can stack the left knee over the ankle. Pressing into the left foot, you can keep the hands on the mat or blocks, or bring the hands to the knee. Right hip forward, left hip back, squaring with the front of the mat, and then gently dropping through the front of the right hip. You can stay here, bring the hands to the heart, elbows out to cactus or arms over the head. And you can stay in either of those positions or add an arch. We'll float the hands down, rocking that left hip back, lengthening through the hamstrings. Spine is nice and long. And you can stay here or lift the toes, rolling onto the heel, feeling that stretch down through the calf. And we'll come back onto the sole of the foot. Bring both hands on the inside of the left foot. Dropping into the lunge. You can keep the knee on the mat or tuck the toes under and lift the knee off of the mat. And coming down onto forearms if that feels okay. keeping the sole of the foot flat or rolling to the outer edge of the foot, coming into lizard pose. Again, the back knee can stay up or be down. Breathing into that left hip. And we'll come back to the sole of the foot, bring the back knee down, and back to the hands, and bring the left knee back to the mat. Let's come on, or shift our weight over the palms and gently lower the chest down. Legs extended out. Hands underneath the shoulders. Feet and legs zip together. Press the pelvic bone down into the mat. And with your next inhale, lift the head and chest into a gentle cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, using the lower back. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Hold and breathe if that feels okay, or continue coming up and down. And if you'd like to lift the hands, you're welcome to do that as well. With your next exhale, lower down. Take a breath in. And then with your exhale, let's press the hips back to the heels into child's pose or recline puppy. Child's pose, the torso is resting on the thighs, forehead to the mat, or on stacked palms or stacked fists. Or recline puppy, staying onto the forearms, hips are stacked over the knees, forehead resting on the mat. Finding the position that feels most comfortable for you in this moment. Making sure that the forehead is supported so you can release the back of the neck. Breathe into the spine, creating space between the vertebrae. Release the weight of the body to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. And with your next inhale, gently roll the spine up. Shoulders up and back and down. Let's tuck the toes under, gently stretching the bottom of the feet. You can be sitting back onto the heels or be up in a kneeling position or have the hands on the mat as you kind of gently press back. Whatever version works for you in this moment. Just giving the bottom of the feet a little stretch. And then we'll shift our weight onto the soles of the feet, coming into Uttanasana forward bend. Feet hip width apart. Hands on the floor, block or legs. We'll soften the knees, lengthen through the spine and relax the back of the neck. Then as it feels okay, you can gently lengthen the legs. Try not to lock the knees, but just lengthening them as much as feels okay. And think about lifting the sitting bones up toward the sky. With your next inhaling breath, sweep the arms out and up, palms together over the head. And as you exhale, hands to the heart. Let's work with Eagle as a balance pose today. So if you'd like to have a wall behind you for a little support, feel free to find that. Sorry, just keep my throat moist this morning. Try not to lose my voice again. All right. So feet are about hip width apart, spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Lift the toes, spread them wide as you lower them down. We'll shift the weight to our left leg and come up to the big toe of our right foot. You can bring the arms out at shoulder height, not at shoulder height, just away from the body for balance. And find a focus spot for your gaze. We'll hinge at the hips, bending the hips and the knee. You can stay here or cross the right leg over the left. Foot can be in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. Lifting the heart, shoulders tucked down. You can stay here, or you can bring the arms in front right over the left, crossing as we did earlier. Soften the shoulders, gently squeezing the arms and the legs together. You can sink a little deeper if it feels okay for your knees. Be careful with those. And when you're ready, gently unwrapping and shaking out the arms and legs. All right, let's find our balance on both feet again. Spine tall, shoulders back and down, belly strong, knees soft. Shift your weight to the right foot. Come up onto the toes of the left foot. Hinging at the hips and bending the knees, arms out for balance. Finding your focus spot. Can stay here or cross the left leg over the right. Foot in the air, on the floor, or wrapped around the calf. Can stay here or add the arms left over the right, bending at the elbows, right hand around the left wrist or hands back to back. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears, gently squeezing the arms and legs together. Dropping a little deeper if it feels okay for your knees. Listening to your body. And when you're ready, gently unwrapping and shaking out that leg. All right. Let's spread the legs nice and wide. I'm going to point the right foot toward the short end of the mat. Left heel drops back. Hips face the long end of the mat. We'll start with Trikonasana. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Exhale, left hip reaches toward the wall behind you. Right arm reaches across the room, lengthening that torso. Keep the torso where it is and just drop the hand down to a block or the leg or floor. Rotate the left shoulder back as you float the arm out of the shoulder. And if that doesn't feel okay for your shoulder, bring that hand back to the low back. Pressing into both feet. Lengthening through the left side of the body. Nice long spine. And softening through the hamstrings of the right leg. One more breath, keeping both legs strong and active. And with your next inhale, press into the feet, lifting up tall. As you exhale, let's bend the right leg Bring the forearm to the thigh, and we'll let that left arm drop over the ear. And again, if that doesn't feel good for your shoulder, you can keep it at the low back. You can turn your vision gently up toward the sky, if that feels okay for your neck. And if it feels okay, keep it, and you can keep your torso facing the wall. You can drop that right hand down to the block or floor, pressing the elbow and the knee against each other to help keep the torso facing the wall. With your next inhale, turn to face the mat. Sweep the hand across and lift the arms up. Exhale, floating the hands down. We'll take a breath in and out. And we'll shift the feet. The left foot points toward the short end of the mat, right heel drops back. Inhale the arms out at shoulder height. Right hip presses toward the wall behind you. Left arm reaches across the room, lengthening that torso and floating the hand down. Right arm out of the shoulder or at the low back. Rotating the torso to face the wall. Right shoulder comes back gently, but the arm still just floats out, not pulling back. Make sure the quadriceps of your right leg are engaged. Lengthen through the spine. Soften through the hamstrings of that left leg. See if that allows you to go down a little more, still keeping the torso facing the wall. With your next inhaling breath, press into the feet, lifting up tall. Exhale, bend the left leg, forearm to the thigh, right arm over the ear or hand at the low back, torso facing the wall. You can bring the vision up to face the sky or the hand, really lengthening through the side body. Pressing into the feet, you can stay here or bring that left hand down to the floor or a block. And with your next inhale, turn to face the mat, sweep the hand across, lift up tall, and float the hands down. Let's bring both feet to face the long end of the mat. We'll inhale the arms up over the head, lifting the torso up out of the pelvis. Exhale, swan dive, hips out behind us, and float the hands down. If it feels okay and you want to walk the feet out a little further, go ahead and do that. And think about bending the knees, pushing into the feet, and lifting up through the sitting bones. Lengthen through the spine. If it feels okay, you could lower the head and chest toward the mat, keeping the spine nice and long. And again, if your spine is beginning to round, gently lift the chin away from the chest. Let's walk the hands over toward the right leg. Hands can be on the floor, block, or leg. Turning the torso to face the thigh, lengthen down over the leg. Pressing into the right foot, lift up through the right hip. Gently walking back to the center, then across to the left. Hands on the floor, block, or leg. Turning the torso to face the thigh, lengthening down over the leg. Pressing into the left foot as you lift up through the left hip. And we'll come back to the center. Pressing up through both hips. We'll walk our feet slowly or closer together, stopping just outside of the hips. And then beginning to bend the knees. If you want to use a block, place that in the center behind the heels. We'll move into Malasana squat. You can bend the knees, dropping the hips, lifting in the higher Malasana position, working on strengthening, pushing into those feet. If you want to work more on opening, you can drop the hips down onto the block or by the heels. Listening to your body, what you need in this moment. You can also come all the way down to the floor, walking those feet a little further apart and working on opening the hips there. So think about elbows or upper arms pressing into the thighs or knees, lengthening through the spine. Notice the shoulders, keep them tucked down. Soften through the hips. One more breath. And we'll gently lower the rest of the way down, coming to meet in cross-legged. Lifting the spine tall, shoulders back and down. With your next inhale, reach through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, drop the right ear over the right shoulder. Tuck the shoulder back and down, breathing to the left side of the neck. Heart is lifted even though the head is tilted. And if you'd like to bring the forearm across the low back to help draw that left shoulder down, you're welcome to do that. Breathing in, letting go of anything stuck in the neck. With your next inhale, gently lift the head back to the center and release the arm. And as you exhale, drop the left ear over the left shoulder. Tuck the shoulder back and down, breathing into the right side of the neck. Heart is lifted. If it feels okay, you could bring that right arm across the low back. Breathing in and letting go. Softening and lengthening through the neck. With your next inhale, lift up tall and release the hands. And as you exhale, gently turn the chin over your right shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale the chin over your left shoulder. Inhale, center. Exhale, dropping the chin toward the chest. Keeping the shoulders back and down. Taking another breath in. And with this exhale, gently sweep the chin toward your right shoulder. Inhale to the center. Exhale, sweeping the chin to the left shoulder. Inhale, center. Releasing a little bit more through the back of the neck. And with your next inhale, lift the head up tall and let the breath go. And let's bend our knees and come to the center of the mat. Hands behind the knees, rounding the spine. We'll gently roll back, lengthening through the spine. Let's bend the knees and extend the legs up toward the sky. Rocking our hands or block underneath the hips to support the legs. We'll gently bend the knees, lower the feet down, rocking the hands or block out from under the hips. Bring the knees into the chest, hugging them in, rocking from side to side if that feels good for your back, or making small circles with the low back. If you'd like one last twist, you could bring the arms out at shoulder height, knees together, gently dropping the knees to the right, vision to the left, taking a breath. And with the next inhale, knees to the center, and exhale, dropping to the left, vision to the right. And with the next inhale, back to the center. We'll lower the feet down and extend out into Shavasana. Again, providing any supports that feel better for you. If it doesn't feel good to have the legs extended out, you can have a bolster under the knees or bend the knees, walking the feet to the edges of the mat and resting the knees together. So finding that position that feels comfortable for you. Shoulders are tucked under, arms along or just slightly away from the body with the palms turned up. And if you need a little blanket or some kind of covering to keep you warm so you can stay relaxed, please make sure you have that. Bringing your awareness to the breath. Allowing each inhale to fill you with a sense of peace and calm. Allowing each exhale to release anything that no longer serves you. Release your muscles from the bones, surrendering them to the earth, feeling its strength and support beneath you. Let the breath bring you back to your heart center. reconnecting with the light and joy that always reside deep within your heart. Let each breath fill your heart with loving kindness for yourself. Sending that loving kindness to each and every cell of your body, honoring all of who you are in this moment. Gently begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Stretch in whatever way feels comfortable for you. When you're ready, you can gently bend your knees, roll to your side, and rest there for a moment. And then gently return to a seated position. We'll end with a metta blessing of loving kindness. Please feel free to join in. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings have peace. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. May all beings be free. The light in me honors the light in you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. For our world, for our communities, and for ourselves. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today.